ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. Now we will see the meaning of namas of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama. We will take up verse 19. The verse is like this. Mahabuddhir Mahaviryo Mahashaktir Mahadyutihi Anirdeshya Vapuh Shriman Ameyatma Mahadridrik. The namas in this verse are Mahabuddhihi, Mahaviryaha, Mahashaktihi, Mahadyutihi, Anirdeshya Vapuhu, Shriman, Ameyatma, Mahadridhrik. So, totally 8 namas. Now let us take up the first nama. The first nama is Mahabuddhihi. Buddhimatamapi Buddhimatvat Mahabuddhihi. Being the wisest among the wise, he is called as the one who possesses a great intellect. Mahabuddhihi. Buddhi is intellect, Maha is great. So the one who is endowed with great intellect. And he is not only Mahabuddhihi, we see in the Bhagavad Gita that Buddhir Buddhimatam Asmi. He is the intellect of all the intellectuals. The second nama is Mahaviryaha. Mahadutpatti karanam avidyalakshanam viryam asyeti Mahaviryah. The one to whom belongs avidya, the potent cause of Mahat, is Mahavirya. In the process of creation, especially in the Sankhya philosophy, it is said that when the consciousness and the matter in the form of Prakriti, Pradhana combine, then the creation starts. So the first evolute of such a creation is called as Mahat. In the causal state, the avidya or the prakriti or the pradhanam is a state of equilibrium of sattva, rajas and tamo gunas. But when the creation process starts by the coming together of the purusha and prakriti, then the first evolute that emerges is a sattva dominant evolute, which is called as Mahat. And that Mahat is considered as the cosmic intellect, and that Mahat is also described in the Puranic lore as the Hiranyagarbha, the creator. So the avidya, which is the cause of such a great Mahat principle or Mahat Tattva, the Sattva dominant principle of Mahat. So that cause of the Mahat principle is avidya, and that avidya is or belongs to the Paramatman. So even in the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. See, the most potent, most powerful avidya, Maya, Pradhana is also under the control of the Paramatman, and hence possessing such a potent avidya that leads to the creation of very great entities like Mahat. The Paramatman is called as Mahavirya. The third term is Mahashakti. Mahati Shakti Samarthyam Asyeti Mahashakti. Possessing great powers and potentials, Bhagavan is Mahashakti. Previously, being the cause of the universe, Bhagavan was denoted as Mahavirya. Now, when the creation comes into existence, so many wonderful, vast things, they keep moving, they keep happening. The earth is rotating and it goes around the sun. The solar system exists, various constellations, galaxies, they exist, and all these are powered. All these are sustained. All these actions are maintained by the power of the Almighty, and hence Paramatman is denoted as Mahashakti. So, the interesting or important point is when a great power exists in maintaining the very big systems in the universe, our own small life will also be taken care of by that great power. And hence, this Nama reassures that there is a big power, there is a great power that's operating the entire universe, and surrendering to us, surrendering to that Paramatman who is a Mahashakti, we can overcome our fears, uncertainties, and anxieties. The next term is Mahadyutihi. Mahati Dyutihi Bahyabhyantara Chasyeti Mahadyutihi. The one who is endowed with luminosity within and without. He is Mahadyutihi. Dyuti is light. Dyuti is luminosity. And Maha is great. So Mahadyuti means the great luminosity. So Paramatman is full of light, both within and without. Bahya, outside, Abhyantara, inside. So everywhere the Paramatman is full of light and he fills everything with light. Previously also in various namas we have seen that Paramatma is the original source of light from which even the sun, moon, stars, fire all derive their luminosity. Here Acharya quotes from the Vedic sources again to indicate the luminous nature of Paramatman. Swayam Jyotihi, says Tejobindu Upanishad. Jyotisham Jyotihi. Again, the Shukla Yajurveda quote says that he is the light of all luminous entities. Just in the previous term, Buddhir Buddhimatam, he is the intellect among the intellectuals. Similarly, he is the luminosity in all luminous entities. So, Mahadyutihi. Fifth term, Anirdeshya Vapuhu. Idam taditi nirdeshtum yenna shakyate parasmai स्वसंवेद्यत्वात् tat anirdeshyam vapuhu asyeti anirdeshya vapuhu. This is what it is, the one that cannot be described to others, as it has to be known by one's own self, or it has to be realized by one's own self, the one who possesses such indescribable physical form is Anirdeshya Vapuhu. So Vapuhu means the body or the physical form. Anirdeshya means that which cannot be described. Nirdeshana means to describe, to elaborate. Anirdeshya, that which cannot be described. So the physical manifestation of which is beyond description. So one cannot say this is what is Paramatman by one's own words. One cannot use one's words to express the form of Paramatman. It has to be known by oneself. Swasamvedyatvat. Acharya says it has to be realized by turning the gaze inwards, and one has to realize it for oneself. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. The manas and the vak cannot describe that Paramatman. So one has to be established, or one has to turn inwards and realize it within oneself. So hence the Paramatman is the one whose form, when he manifests, cannot be described. It has to be realized. Just in the Vishwarupa Darshana that Arjuna received, he just experienced it. It cannot be described to anyone. He experiences for himself. All the Atmanubhavas of all the great people is of this manner, indescribable, but very much experienceable and realizable for one's own self. The sixth nama is Shriman. Aishwarya Lakshana Samagra Shrihi Yasya Saha Shriman. The one who is endowed with all wealth in the form of powers is Shriman. Normally, Shriman means Shrihi Asya Asti Asmin Asti Itiva Shriman. So the one who has, or the one who possesses Shrihi is Shriman. Shri refers to wealth and powers. So in this context, Acharya clarifies that all kinds of powers and wealth are there with the Paramatman. Normally, the term Aishwarya in Sanskrita indicates power, and those powers are 8 in number: Anima, Mahima, Laghima, Garima, Praptihi, Prakamyam, Ishitvam, Vashitvam, which includes becoming very tiny, becoming huge, becoming very heavy, becoming very light, attaining anything, being unhinderable. So in this way, all these are the great powers which are described in Samskrita as Aishwarya. So the one who possesses all the Ashtamaha Siddhis, Samagra, entire Siddhis, the one who possesses, he is Shriman. Paramatman here is seen as the Almighty, the all-powerful, possessing all kinds of powers. Seventh nama is Ameyatma. Sarvaihi pranibhihi ameya buddhihi atma yasya saha ameyatma. The one whose mind's workings are not known by any living being is Ameyatma. So there are two components, Ameya and Atma. Atma here refers to the buddhi, the intellect. Ameya. Ameya means not knowable, not measurable. So the one whose intellect's working is not knowable by others is Ameyatma. Paramatman is the buddhi among all. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. It was denoted there. But his intellect as such is not knowable by others. So previously also in one of the namas we saw Aprameya. His form is not knowable. Previously it was mentioned even the one who cannot be measured or known by the karmendriyas or by the jnanendriyas. Here, the workings of the intellect of the Paramatman is not knowable. So that specific meaning is brought out by the term Ameyatma. So surrendering to the workings of the mind of Paramatman, we can lead a happy, anxiety free life. So, in whichever way he wills, it is going to happen. The life is going to take its shape. The only way in this life of the various twists and turns is to surrender to the one whose intellect's working is not knowable, is beyond the limits of our intellectual capacity. The eighth nama is Mahadridhik. Mahantam Adrim Mandaram Govardhanam cha Amritamathane Gorakshane cha Dhritavaniti Mahadridhik. The one who lifted and held the great mountain Mandara or Govardhana during the churning of the ocean for nectar or to protect the cows. He is Mahadridhik. This is an interesting nama. There are three components here in this nama. Maha, Adri, Dhrik. Dhrik here means the one who holds or the one who supports. What does he support? Adri. Adri is Parvata. Adri is mountain. So the one who holds or supports the mountain. What kind of a mountain? Maha Adri. So the one who supports the great mountain, the one who holds the great mountain, he is Maha Adri Dhrik. Mahadri Dhrik. So to that, Acharya explains that during the churning of the ocean by the Devas and Asuras to attain Amrita, the Mandara was kept in the process of churning. So it was Mandara around which the Vasuki serpent was uh, uh, wound, and then Devas were and Asuras were trying to churn it. But Mandara sunk, and in the form of Kurmavatara, so Bhagavan supported the great Mandara mountain on his back, and hence the churning process could happen without any further trouble or any further worry of the Mandara sinking. So as part of the Kurmavatara, he supported the great Mandara mountain on his back. So because of which finally the immortal, the Amrita, which would lead to immortality, was achieved. Or in the context of Bhagavata Purana, we all saw or we all know that Sri Krishna lifted up the Govardhana Parvata to protect the people of Gokula and the cows, the Gomatas of Gokula from the wrath of Indra. So there also he held the great Govardhana Parvata. Hence also he is glorified, celebrated as Mahadridhrik. So with these 8 namas in 19th verse, we have completed the discussion of the meanings of 159 namas of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu.